I think it's really important for women to share their birth stories. There's so many different stories and so many things that can happen. When I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, I was in the military at the time and getting ready to get out. I got back home. I knew I was gonna be a single mama. Started going to my doctor's appointments, and I was very surprised at how differently I got treated. Um, it was more of, oh, are you by yourself? Yes, ma'am, I'm by myself. Well, is the dad in the picture? Like, these were very personal questions that I kind of felt like I felt very judged. Being a Black woman and I'm single, we all know what the statistics say. They just saw another pregnant young Black woman coming in here with no support. The stigma, not knowing that, well, I'm a veteran, I'm insured, I have money coming in.
The truth of the matter is, it's very difficult to navigate through those systems. The systems are not designed to be easy to access, and they create all kinds of barriers often that people find very difficult to navigate through, and so they end up just giving up.
I was sick, very, very sick. Even before I took the pregnancy test, I was sick. It seemed like all the information I could find was designed to reassure me. Even the first time I went into the emergency room, the doctor there was just like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Women always worry about stuff like that, And nobody really saw me because all that anybody saw was my belly when I had a belly. People would, they put their hands on you, like they wanna, everything is baby, 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 and it's like you disappear.
I was treated very coldly during my visits. I noticed I was getting vaginal exams when now, looking back, I should not have been getting vaginal exams. One particular visit, I did have a situation where I was being examined and I felt a pinch and it kind of like a little pop. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I poked you. And I was like, okay, it's okay. And went on with the visit as normal, like everything was fine. A couple of days later, I noticed I started leaking fluid. So I go back in and it's a nitrazine test. And sure enough, there was amniotic fluid in my canal. At the time, I was 4 months pregnant with her. And so I'm asking them, okay, what does this mean? Well, we're just gonna monitor it and just see how it goes. Every time I went back for those visits, the ultrasound visits, the fluid was just lower and lower every time I went back. And I couldn't even, that was just such a grim feeling to like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm clearly leaking, like, can you do something? Can you do something? Like, my daughter she's going to suffocate. Well, no, there's nothing that we can do. We're just gonna have to keep watching, and once you hit viability, we'll send you to UAMS. We just gotta get to 24 weeks. We just gotta get to 24 weeks.
Every time I mentioned being really sick, everybody was like, oh, that's so normal, that's normal. And I remember calling the clinic and talking to a nurse, and she was just so condescending. She was like, oh, honey, everybody experiences that. You're gonna be fine. I was like, I can't stop vomiting. I can't keep any food down. I can't keep water down. And she was like, well, you should eat some crackers. I didn't really have a support system, and the few people that I knew or saw were just so excited about the fact that I was pregnant. So I just was sicker and sicker, and it was just, nobody really noticed how sick I was. I don't know, probably around 11 or 12 weeks toward the end of my first trimester, and I had lost like 15 pounds in just a couple weeks. And the nurse didn't even seem to notice, and they scheduled me to have my gallbladder removed at the very beginning of my second trimester. I didn't heal from the surgery very well, and I got a bad infection. I mean, I still have horrible scars from the infection, and I was like borderline septic. And even then, like, the surgeon had been, "You're gonna be feeling fine, you're gonna be eating French fries," and like, I was so dehydrated. They had trouble finding a vein. My muscles all atrophied. I lost a ton of weight. The physical effects of my pregnancy are still with me.